It's the Turbo and 2K show.
What is up, 2K crew? It is that time of the week again. And yes, it is a new time of the week. This is our first of back in the day. If you're a real OG 2K crew member, we did do a handful, I'd probably say 20 or 30 shows on Thursdays. And we kind of got away from that. 2K's kids kind of got into sports and whatnot. But we are back here on Thursday. And I was kind of on the fence. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm always going to come stoked. I'm always going to come excited. Always going to come ready to talk sports with you guys and gals. But I was like, well, we didn't do it last week because I honestly went home sick from work. So didn't think it'd be a really good look to go home from work and then do a podcast later. So figured, what the heck? Let's just take the week off. But for those of you that are watching live, thank you for joining me on a Thursday evening as we're watching the Bills go face off against the Dolphins here on Prime, and we're going to get into that here in a little bit. But I do want to give kind of a little rundown here. We are going to get into some news. Got some baseball news. We got some NFL news, and then again, if you are a true OG, we're bringing back one of our segments, our paycheck and onions segment, which I'll kind of go over as we get to it. And I'm gonna do the NFL power rankings. These are my power rankings, through the first 2 weeks, and something that I will continue to do throughout the NFL season, as well as with the paycheck and onions. Kind of keep tabs on that as well. So I hope everyone's having a great Thursday. Let me know who you got in this game, Bills or Dolphins. I have a feeling most people are going to be going towards the Bills on this one, but are you confident enough to take the 11.5 points? Are you going to give the 11.5 points, I should say? And I'll kind of give you my view on that as we go along. But yeah, we're going to be previewing this weekend college action as well as NFL action. So let's get into it. Let's jump into some news here, ladies and gentlemen. But before we do get into that, like I said, thank you guys and gals for watching on a Thursday evening as opposed to a Sunday, which Thursdays are going to become more of a regular thing. But you might notice that 2Ks is not here. He is Coach 2Ks on Thursday for his son's flag football. So once that season ends, we'll probably get him back in here again. So that's kind of a 2Ks update. Yeah, for those of you that are watching over on Twitter or on YouTube live, thank you. Drop a comment, give us a follow, do all that jazz. Ring the bell on YouTube, and you'll be notified whenever we go live. And for the OGs that are on the audio side, you guys and gals are the true OGs of the show. And whether you have us in your ears driving down the road or on the treadmill, we appreciate each and every one of you. Well, let's get started with some news that kind of dropped today. This is from the LA Dodgers Twitter account. 3-time NL Cy Young Award winner, 2014 NL MVP, and 11-time All-Star Clayton Kershaw of the Dodgers will announce today that he will retire as a player at the end of the 2025 season. He will make his final Dodger Stadium regular season start on Friday. And if you remember back, 2K crew, we kind of were watching along with the Dodgers during the season. There was speculation like, all right, he's just coming back to get that 3,000 strikeouts, kind of put one more feather in his cap in an already Hall of Fame career, and he did that. But it wasn't quite clear to all of us. It's like, okay, this dude is legitimately a major reason why the Dodgers are where they're at right now. It's not just some, I'm not going to say parlor trick, but just some sort of just piece that the Dodgers are rolling out, maybe 10 or 12 starts. No, Clayton Kershaw has been a very successful part of this team. And especially with all the injuries on the pitching staff, this dude has been essential for this Dodgers team. And I was kind of shocked to see. I figured, the way he's been rolling, I figured, why not give it one more year? Why not give it one more year? Give your your the traditional going away party at every stadium that he pitches at next season. But he decided, you know what, I'm done. And for that, Kershaw, like I said, first ballot Hall of Fame, no doubt Hall of Fame. And here's some kind of numbers to go with that. This is from Dodgers Nation. Clayton Kershaw defines what it means to be a Dodger: 2 World Series titles, 3 Cy Young Awards, 1 MVP, 11-time All-Star, 3-time Strikeout Club, and the 2011 Triple Crown. He'll be retiring at the end of the season, this season now, and we're lucky to have witnessed such a career. And yeah, I mean, it's very hard to argue that. Very hard to argue that Clayton Kershaw has been, one of the most dominant pitchers of my generation, and even the generation below me. We kind of lump him in with, it's Kershaw, Verlander, and Scherzer. Those are the dudes. Those are like the, the old grizzled dudes, the workhorses. And we've seen all 3 of those guys have varied success in the postseason, but all 3 of them have been absolutely dominant in the regular season. Cy Young Awards aplenty, strikeouts aplenty, wins aplenty. So just to give you another tidbit about Justin Verlander, 2Ks and I called him dead probably about a month ago, and this dude has done nothing but shove since then. So kudos to you, JV. Maybe you really do have one more in you. Maybe you do. Well, kind of continuing on this little baseball trend here, let's take a look at we've got teams that have clinched playoff spots. Fox Sports MLB retweet if your team has clinched playoff spot in the 2025 postseason. And as you can see, the Red Sox are not on this list, so I did retweet it just so I could find it and grab it for you guys and gals. But the Phillies, the Brewers, and the Cubs have all punched their tickets. Now, another team that's a glaring vacancy here is, what about the Tigers? This was supposed to be a Tigers team that, at one point, they were, if I'm not mistaken, they were the first team to 30 wins, first team to 40 wins, first team to 60 wins. And then I'm not going to say the wheels have fallen off, because there was a time where it seemed like the wheels were going to fall off and had fallen off. And all of a sudden, wheels are back on, winning's back on. Life is great in the Motor City, but it hasn't really. It's been a lot more difficult than that. As we sit today, the Tigers, who just got swept by the Cleveland Guardians of all folks, who sold at the deadline, kind of a la the Tigers last year, are 3.5 back. 3.5 back of the Detroit Tigers. Those Guardians are 9-1 in their last 10, winners of their last 7, and ironically enough, have a run differential of -23, whereas the Tigers have +87. So well over 100. It's 110 runs between the two. So what's going on in Detroit? And I was talking to a couple buddies last night. It's like, you know what? The Tigers and my Red Sox are very, very, very similar. Very similar. Have one great horse in Crochet and Scooble. Great horses. Pitching staff behind them is still kind of a work in progress on both sides, and the offense on both teams just decides not to hit on a regular basis. I mean, Tigers fans today saw Scooble go and lose 3-1. Whenever Scooble goes, you have to get a W, especially with the rest of that rotation, where you can't lean on a number 2, a number 3, whether it be Chucky Ballgame or Casey Mize or insert name here of Tiger starter. It seems like, and it really is, Scooble and a bunch of other dudes. And you can kind of say that same thing in Boston, where it's Crochet and a bunch of other dudes. Now, I will say with the pitching staff in Boston, it is a little bit deeper. Brian Bayo has been much better than previous years. However, gave up a big first inning today, and the Red Sox ended up losing 2 out of 3 to an A's team who is already eliminated from the playoffs. So both teams are very reeling, and if both teams make it to the playoffs, needless to say, it is going to be a limp in. It is going to be a limp in. So kind of curious to see what's going to happen both there, but did want to grab this real quick. This is, again, from Twitter. This is Benson, Miguel Cabrera's bat on Twitter. If the Detroit Tigers blow what was once a 14.5 game lead in the AL Central, I'll eat a shingle. Now, I will say, Benson, that you eating a shingle is much, much less nasty, much less just icky than some of the other things, some of the other, bets or whatever we've seen on Twitter. So kudos for the creativity, and kudos for not involving poop or buttholes or anything like that, even though if you do eat the shingle, some of those are going to be involved anyway. So kudos to you for being a little bit more creative there. Let's see. Let's grab a tweet here from Mr. J. Hey Kid from Baseball is Dead. The Nugget chef himself, State of Baseball. The soon-to-be MVP catcher who just passed Mickey Mantle for homers by a switch hitter and tied Ken Griffey Jr.'s franchise record for homers is the second biggest story of the night because another guy hit 50 homers for the second straight season while throwing 5 hitless innings and becoming the first player ever to have a 50 homers and 50 strikeouts as a pitcher in the same season. Now, I know when we rewind this, a couple shows ago, I caught a lot of heat again about saying that Kyle Schwarber deserves to be more in the MVP discussion. And it seems the more that I fuel this fire, I don't know if Shohei watches this, which if you do, what's up, dude? But it seems to be fueling the fire that is Shohei Ohtani, and just he's like, you know what, Turbo? I'm just going to drop dick right here. You hold on. I'm going to make you just look completely ridiculous. And it seems that he's been doing this on a regular basis all throughout the season. So kudos to you, Shohei. And I will kind of eat crow because, yes, Schwarber does lead the NL in homers. But I'm not trying to backtrack here, but I really wasn't trying to say that Schwarber deserved it over Ohtani. I'm just saying that the vast numbers, the vast space between the betting lines between Shohei for MVP and Schwarber were a little bit outlandish. That's all I was saying. And would I be shocked if Schwarber does win this, just because a lot of folks do have Shohei fatigue? I wouldn't be shocked at all. I wouldn't be shocked at all. And kudos to you, Schwarbs, for doing this on a walk year. You're going to get paid. You're going to get paid. So let's take a look at what else we got here. Well, the Tigers do have some stuff to celebrate. This is from the Lakeland Flying Tigers. Your 2025 Florida State League champions. First team in FSL history to win both halves and go undefeated in the postseason. So kudos to the minor league affiliate, Lakeland Flying Tigers, to the Tigers. And add to that, this is from Tigers Turmoil. The West Michigan Whitecaps are your 2025 Midwest League champions. A historical season ends with the sweetest prize of them all. So this is, if you're the big league club, does this add a little bit more pressure to what's already what a lot of folks think are a sinking ship? Because minor league affiliates are balling out. Minor league affiliates are getting the wins. Minor league affiliates are getting it done. Big league club, not so much. Not so much. So maybe add a little bit of fuel to the fire here. Maybe add a little bit of fuel to the fire. Let's get it going, boys. Let's get it going. Let's see here. All right, I think that's enough news here. The other tweets I want to save for later on in the show. So let's get to some power rankings. Let's get to some NFL power rankings. This is honestly a new segment. Everybody does power rankings, so pretty sure everyone knows how this goes. But this is the first time Turbo and 2K show history we've done power fives. So power rankings. I'm going to go after the first 2 weeks. I'm putting the Eagles at 5. Eagles are 2-0. Eagles have a great roster. Eagles offense really hasn't seemed to move the ball very well. If I'm not mistaken, they haven't had over 150 yards passing from Jalen Hurts. But does that make them a bad team? No. Winning is winning. Winning is winning. And add to that the reigning Super Bowl champ. You kind of have to give them a little bit of leeway here. And I just couldn't imagine a Power 5 without the Eagles. So let's get to number 4. Chargers. Harbaugh has the boys buzzing, ladies and gentlemen. Harbaugh has the boys buzzing. And Justin Herbert's playing like the quarterback that a lot of us thought that he would, especially after his rookie year. And now, don't look now, but he's got an offensive line. And add to Ladd McConkey, and they added the Omarion Hampton as a running back, and they brought back and what everyone thought was a washed Keenan Allen. No, he wasn't washed. He was just in Chicago. So this offense is revamped. The defense is flying around, and we saw that on display on Sunday. So give me the Chargers at 4, especially with Harbaugh at the helm. Herbert playing out of his mind like he should. That offensive line blocking and the defense just buzzing. So number 3, boy, that graphic changed a lot. Give me the Bucks. Yes, 2-0 by the skin of their teeth. Both games come down to the wire. Saw the stat that Baker's the first quarterback in NFL history to do this, start 2-0 after trailing with 2 minutes to go in each fourth quarter. Baker's doing it. So got to give love to Baker. Got to give love to that defense. That team is in Emeka Egbuka out of Ohio State, the receiver, 3 touchdowns in his first 2 games. Got to love that too. So just a real complete, and Bucky Irving running all over everybody. That team is legit. Let's go to number 2. Packers. I know we talked about the Packers on the last show with the addition of Micah Parsons, but to me, this Packers team success is going to lie in the hands of Jordan Love. Can he stay healthy? Can he complete a season? Can he live up to the expectation that I think all of us think that he can and knows that he can? So it's to me, it's going to be that. It's going to be that. What can he do? And I do honestly believe that he will. At least you really can't project for injuries, but if everything keeps going according to plan, I don't see how this can backfire. So Packers are playing very, very good, very, very good. And at number 1, I'm pretty sure that a lot of folks will agree with this. Bills are an absolute wagon. And now they're down 7-0 right now to the Dolphins. The Dolphins are reeling. The Dolphins had, airplanes fly over the stadium saying fire the coach, fire the GM. Tua doesn't really look like what we expect him to look like. The defense is garbage. So I will tell you that I did give the points on this. I took the Bills minus 11.5. I know that's a ton of points, 2K crew, but it's just the fact that Josh Allen and this team are playing that well that I couldn't help myself. So speaking of picks, before we get into the paycheck and onions, I want to give a little bit of a rundown on how this game works. Okay. Each week, I'm going to give you 5 picks. I'm going to get 3 wild card picks, a paychecks pick, and an onions pick. We'll keep track as to how many I get right, how many I get wrong. But the 3 wild card picks are any football game. Could be, and these picks right now, since we're in football season, are going to be any football pick, whether it's college, pro, doesn't matter. You'll get three that I'm pretty confident in. And then when it comes to paycheck, That's the pick that I'm going to be the most confident in. Whereas I would lay a paycheck on that bet. And the Onions pick is kind of like the upset. What's your dark horse for the week? And the main difference from this segment now as compared to the last one is we're not just picking money lines, ladies and gentlemen. It's with the spread. It's with the spread. So with that being said, like I said, we're starting from scratch, 0-0. And the Bills pick was not a part of my picks because the game's going on right now. So I wanted to give picks, and that'll continue every Thursday. We'll not pick the Thursday night game. They'll be for this coming weekend. So let's, without further ado, paycheck and onions. Let me get my notes out here. Let me get my notes. Pick number 1, I'm taking Oklahoma, giving the 6.5. They're at home against Auburn. This Oklahoma team, this quarterback's pretty fucking good. Pretty good. And Auburn, I to be honest with you, I haven't watched a lot of Auburn football, but I've watched enough Oklahoma football that I am very, very confident in this. Pick number 2, give me money line Nebraska. I guess I misspoke. We're not just doing money lines. It's either win or loss. You can take a money line or take the spread, just like you're betting with any one of the books. I'll from time to time open it up to over unders. So these are kind of the whatever you could bet that is not that's not a prop bet. Let's put it that way. Give me Nebraska money line. They are at home against Michigan. At home against Michigan. And what is that spread? As it is right now, Michigan 1.5 point favorite. So give me Nebraska money line. That game is 3:30 on Saturday. 3:30 on Saturday. So yeah, give me the Huskers in the Bussin' Bowl. Give me the Huskers money line. And let's tease a little NFL here. I'm going Chargers -2.5 over the Broncos at home. Again, love this Chargers team. Love what Jim Harbaugh's doing. Love what Justin Herbert's doing. And the Broncos really haven't had the start to the season that I really think a lot of folks thought they were going to have. There was a lot of people picking this Broncos team to do very, very good things, and they still might do it. They're off to not the start that I think everyone's thought. And I just think that this Chargers team right now is much better. So let's get to give me Miami -7.5 paycheck bet. Miami over Florida at home -7.5. Love this Miami team. Got to watch a lot of them when they beat Notre Dame. And there were a lot of folks. I wasn't picking Southern Florida, but they were very intriguing coming off their 2 wins prior to that. And Miami just took care of business. Carson Beck looks amazing. That team looks amazing. The defense for Miami looks amazing. And I think a lot of us, especially that have done the college football thing for any amount of time, we've been snake bitten by this Miami team. Not this team in general, but this Miami, the U is back. The U is back. Don't look now. The U is back. College football is better when the U is good. And then it just ends up fizzling out. I don't think this team's going to do that this year. It seems like I believe they're ranked 4th. It seems like they could be ranked a whole lot higher than this. But I think everyone's waiting for this to sustain. I think everyone is waiting for this crew to make it last. And if they do, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. And once we get further along in the season, I might be saying the U is back. But for right now, give me Miami over Florida in a big dub at home. -7.5. And the Onions pick for this week is give me the Lions money line. Lions money line over the Ravens in Baltimore. As you saw with my power rankings, I didn't have the Lions or the Ravens on that list. Now, is it because they're 1-1? No, no. With the Lions in particular, I need to see more. They had a clunker of a first game against Green Bay. Maybe that's a test to saying how good Green Bay really is. But against Ben Johnson last week in the Bears, it was pretty much belt to ass, belt to ass. So I need to see more. I need to see more of both of these teams. Week 1, big game, Bills Ravens. Bills come away with a huge comeback win. I need to see this Ravens team over and over again. I need to see them have more success to overtake the teams in my top 5. Okay, so that just a quick recap. My 3 teasers: Oklahoma -6.5, Nebraska money line, Chargers -2.5. My paycheck bet: Miami -7.5, and the onions bet: Lions money line. Lions money line. Let me know your guys and gals' best bet, and if you agree with any of these, or which ones did I overlook? Which ones did I overlook? All right, well, let's get into some college football, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into some college football. Let's take a peek at the slate. We kind of touched on a couple of them with the paycheck and onions, but got some big games. Let's see. We've got nothing really good Thursday, nothing really good Friday. Well, Friday, if you want to get into some Big Ten, Iowa at Rutgers, not interested. Let's see. Starting off Saturday, Texas, number 17, Texas Tech goes into Utah, number 16, Utah. Utah being a 3.5-point favorite here. This Utah team, again, there was a lot of folks on this team last year and just kind of fizzled out. It seems like that the part that was fizzling, they've kind of fixed, because this team is legit and is a very, very high, very, very good. Has a very good chance of winning the Big 12. I'm pretty sure they're the favorite in the Big 12 right now. Let's keep cruising. We talked about Oklahoma Auburn. My Irish welcome the Purdue Boilermakers, and I have a feeling Notre Dame is gonna take care of business here, but I always get -25.5. Ugh, don't like it. It wouldn't shock me if they blew them out 54-3, but I do not like it. 25.5-point spread at all. Let's see. Georgia Tech, Temple. Georgia Tech team's buzzing. Very, very fun to watch since they've gotten away from that whole triple threat, wing T offense. Let's see. South Carolina at Missouri. We talked about Florida at Miami. One that I was going to put on here, but I just can't. I just couldn't pull the trigger. And quite possibly, keep an eye on Twitter. Keep an eye on wherever you get your college football news. This is Illinois, Indiana, in Bloomington. Number 9, Illinois. Number 19, Indiana. These two coaches love to talk shit. Signetti, Bielema, love both of them. Love the moxie. Love the fire. And if we don't get any fireworks before this game goes off, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. And what's shocking to me, 2K Crew, is Indiana's favored by 6.5. I understand it's at home. Granted, Illinois didn't look great last week. But you're telling me a number 9 team against a number 19 team is the lower seeded, the number 19 team is favored by 6.5? It's one of those lines that if you really, really, really like Illinois, grab the points. That's a lot of points. But that one, something wasn't right in my gut with that one. So I said, you know what? Hold off. Hold off. Just step away from that one. Step away from that one. So that's definitely one. That's a 7:30 kick. Definitely going to be watching that one. But yeah, just a weird spread. Did not get that. Did not get that at all. Let's see here. USC, Michigan State, if you're into that. Texas, Sam Houston. Texas is a 39.5-point favorite. So if at any time the past, last week, Arch Manning did not look good. Did not look good at all. This Sam Houston squad must be absolutely garbage. Because last week was supposed to be a get-right game for Arch Manning. Really didn't get right. Didn't get right at all. So is this going to be like his coming out party where he drops, 450 and 5 tutties? I hope so. That would be fun to watch. But and there's a lot of folks saying, well, he's absolutely garbage. There's no reason why. What's their backup look like? Get Arch off the field. Well, first of all, we know that's not happening. They're paying Arch a lot of money. There's no way sitting at number 8 that they're going to a backup quarterback with a redshirt freshman who's supposed to be, the next coming. He is the next Manning. So there's no way. There's no way. No way, no. Not a chance. Not a chance in hell that that's going to happen. Let's see here. Okay. I think that's all. Yeah, because game day is going to be down at the U. And rightfully so. Like I said, this Miami team is very good. Is very good. And like I said, sitting at number 4, I don't know. Is that too low? Or am I just out in left field here, 2K crew? I'm not sure. I know it's one of those things. It's week 3. I get it. It's week 3, week 4 it's technically week 4 because we had a week 0. It's week 4, and these rankings aren't going to matter until it comes later in the season. I get that, but the team's fun to watch. And Oregon State. I'm sure that's a rivalry somewhere, but with Oregon being 6 and Oregon State being not even ranked, and Oregon being a 35.5-point favorite, pretty sure that's not a rivalry anymore. Let's take a peek at the NFL. Okay. I got a couple tweets here about the NFL that I wanted to get into before we jump into looking at this week's slate. This tweet from Mike Florio. You can't make this up. Your current NFL leaders in passing yards. Number 1, Russell Wilson. Number 2, Danny Dimes. Yeah, if you would have told me that at the beginning of the season, I'd have been like, you are out of your fucking mind. There is not a chance. Not a chance that Russell Wilson and Daniel Jones will be leading the league in passing yards. And the whole Daniel Jones thing in Indy is very fun. I really like that. But it's like, okay, Russ, what are we doing? Is that Giants team any good? No, not at all. Not at all. And now, especially with Joe Burrow going down and the rumors that the Bengals were kind of knocking on the Giants' door saying, hey, is Jameis available? Now that right there, 2K crew. You get Jameis in that Bengals offense, geez, oh Pete's. How fun would that be? Yes, he's going to throw 3 picks a game, but he's also going to throw 4 touchdowns. With those receivers, yeah, that would be awesome. That would be absolutely awesome. And for a guy who drafted Joe Burrow in his fantasy team, I did pick up a replacement and is a little sneaker, picked up Jameis. Not that I'm 0-2 already. My team is terrible, but just in case. And we talked about the Colts. This is from the NFL Plus Twitter account. The hashtag Colts are the first team in the Super Bowl era to not punt in either of their first 2 games in a season. Kind of a cool stat. And that, let's take a peek here at kind of the standings after 2 weeks. Okay, we've got the AFC East. Bills are 2-0. New England 1-1. Jets and Dolphins are 0-2. In the AFC North, the Bengals, even though Joe Burrow didn't play the vast majority of the game last week, are still 2-0. The Ravens and the Steelers are 1-1, with the Browns being 0-2, which I think all of us thought that was going to happen. AFC South, Colts 2-0, like we talked about. Jags 1-1, Houston 0-2, Tennessee 0-2, which we kind of thought Tennessee would be right there. AFC West, Chargers 2-0, Raiders and Broncos 1-1, and the Kansas City Chiefs are 0-2. Now, this Chiefs team, everyone's writing this Chiefs team off, and I remember a few years back they were like, it started the season like 1-4 or 2-5 or something like that, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, Chiefs are done. And I'm pretty sure they end up going on to win the Super Bowl that year. Am I prognosticating that that's going to happen this year? I don't know. This Chiefs team is very weird. Very weird. Is it going to be a normal 13-4 Chiefs team? I don't foresee that. But what I do know is if this team does get into the playoffs via wild card or somehow wins the division, I wouldn't want to play him in the playoffs. Not a chance. Andy Reid in the playoffs? Steve Spagnuolo in the playoffs? Nope. I'm okay. I'm okay. Let's flip over to the NFC. Eagles 2-0, Commanders and Cowboys 1-1, and the aforementioned Giants are 0-2. NFC North, Packers 2-0, Vikings, Lions 1-1, and my lonely Bears 0-2. Who just gave up a 50 burger to the Lions last week. And let's take a quick second and talk about that. Okay? There was a lot of talk post game about the handshake between Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson. Okay, what more do you expect? Okay, and then Jared Goff comes up afterwards to kind of shake the hand of Ben Johnson, and Ben wasn't having any of it. And Ben Johnson caught a lot of shit for it. Now, what would it look like if you're in the Bears locker room and you see your coach dapping up the quarterback that just hung 50 on you? I understand that they worked together for quite a while prior to him getting to Chicago, but you can't do that. Does that mean that Ben Johnson and Jared Goff have beef? No. I'm sure Ben Johnson wasn't happy with how his team performed at all. I don't think I've ever heard a coach be really, really hyped after his team dropped. Their team has had 50 dropped on him. I'm pretty sure that locker room would not have enjoyed a dap up and a hug by Ben Johnson to Jared Goff. I'm sure they're still friends. If they do talk, I'm sure they do. But between the lines is way different than, at home. I get it. So I was very confused why fans were just such at arms or up in arms about, oh my gosh, was this disrespect? Ben Johnson was here forever, and all of a sudden he's just telling, Jared Goff to go fuck himself. No, he was pissed. I'm sure, and we kind of saw that in the post game presser with Ben Johnson. He was quite fiery, which he should. So I don't read anything into that. I really would have loved to hear what MCDC said in his ear. That would have been awesome. It probably went along the lines of, love you, man. You don't want us to hang 50. You better stop us. That would have been cool. Well, amongst other things, quit being a bitch. Whatever Dan Campbell says, But That part I would be very interested in. Not the fact that Ben Johnson didn't dap up Jared Goff. I could care less. I could care less. Let's go in the NFC South. Tampa Bay 2-0 like we talked about. Falcons 1-1. This Falcons team 2K crew is not terrible. They're not terrible. Defense is good. They got a lot of young studs on that defense. It's just, can the offense put it together? And Penix is doing very good things. We've seen a resurgence from Kyle Pitts. And if you were the one person in your fantasy league that drafted Kyle Pitts again, I'm sure there was a lot of people in your draft that laughed right in your face. But if you did, he's not a top 5 tight end this year yet. But at least he's getting the ball, which is more than I can say for the past, since he's been in the league. So I think it's a good step forward. He is an awesome talent. Use him. They have a great backfield. Bijan Robinson is fantastic. He was either pick 1 or 2, and I'm sure in your fantasy league for a very good reason, because he is that good. Saints are 0-2. Carolina's 0-2. Both those teams suck. So does not surprise me. And the NFC West, 2K crew. So this NFC West is going to be very, very interesting to watch as we go throughout the season. The Niners, the Cardinals, and the Rams are all tied at 2-0. And Josh Allen shovel passed to, what was that, Kincaid, to go up 14-7. So yeah, that 7-point lead for the Dolphins didn't last too long. But yeah, this is, and the Seahawks sitting there at 1-1. So how do the 49ers continue this success without Brock Purdy? Is this going to be a thing? How long is he going to be out for? The Cardinals look good. Trey McBride is, I'm going to go out and say it, is the best tight end in football. The rookie running back doing fantastic things alongside James Conner. Marvin Harrison Jr., stud, like we all thought he was. Is this Cardinals team back? The Rams, they look good. They look real good. Matthew Stafford spinning it. How long can he stay healthy? Can he withstand the whole season? Didn't play at all in the preseason because of his back. How long is that going to last? I don't know. And the Seahawks are just being the Seahawks. I mean, it seems like they're in the same spot every single year. So this is the NFC West is going to be very interesting to kind of keep an eye on. Whereas I think a lot, and the North as well. I think most of us are kind of keeping an eye on the North just because, we expected the Packers to be good. We expected the Lions to be good. We hoped the Vikings were going to be good. Now, with JJ's injury, we get Carson Wentz, I think. Carson Wentz lacing him up again. I saw something. This will be his 6th start for 6 team in 6 years he started for. So that's kind of a crazy stat. But what version of Carson Wentz are we going to get? Are we going to get one that's more like the Eagles version, that he was playing almost MVP caliber football? Or are we going to get the version that the Colts had where Lord knows what the hell is going to happen? And I think it's going to say a lot. His success is going to, I think, either further the conversation of AOC being the quarterback whisperer, or maybe AOC just caught lightning in the bottle with Sam Darnold last year. Now, am I comparing Sam Darnold to Carson Wentz? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But if AOC can keep this rolling, and then JJ gets back, and we'll kind of see. JJ had a very good second half of his first game. Second game didn't look so hot, but how much of that game was he injured in? I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays out. I do think McCarthy is a guy. I do think with enough time and reps, he will be a very good starting quarterback in the NFL. Especially with those weapons. Yep. With AOC at the helm. Yep. I have full and utter confidence in him. But which Carson Wentz are you going to get? And are the Bears this bad? Starting off 0-2. If you look at both games, the first half of each game, they looked really good. But it seems as if they practice like the scripted the first 15 plays of the offense, they run perfectly. And it's like, well, now that we've done that, what do we do? What do we do? Where do we go? What's going on? All of a sudden, the offensive line can't block. Next thing you know, Caleb Williams is running around like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to make something happen. And it's like they get off schedule after those first scripted plays. Because week 1 started out the same way. Very good start. And then just took a shit. Week 2 against the Lions started off good. Put up 14 points. Took a shit. And I think Ben Johnson is, we have to remember this is Ben Johnson's first head coaching gig too. So we kind of have to give him some grace, give him some leeway as he kind of learns his way. And for everyone that kind of thought that Caleb was just going to excel in this system because Jared Goff did, those are two terribly different players. Jared Goff is a pocket passer. Caleb Williams should be a pocket passer, but he likes to run around like Patrick Mahomes. And there's only one Patrick Mahomes, ladies and gentlemen. And the next coming of it is not Caleb Williams. Caleb needs to be Caleb. He needs to be a quarterback. And when he is, he's not bad. He's not bad. But after listening to, more educated podcasts rather than this, it was the SVP pod, and Stanford Seed pointed something out. He's like, you know what? Caleb Williams, his last year in college at USC, that offensive line was terrible. The defense was terrible. So he was having to make up for not only a shitty defense, but an offensive line, and that garnered bad habits. And the more he talked about this, I was like, you know what? I'm okay. Yeah. I'm completely on board on this, because you could put Caleb on a bootleg to the right and he throws a strike that only his receiver can get. But there's other throws you're like, what the hell are you doing? What is this? What is this? I don't get it. I don't get it. So I think the more that Caleb is in this system and the Bears are able to protect him, I think we're going to see better things. Are they going to be good things? Probably not this week, but better for sure. Speaking of this week, let's take a look at the schedule. Green Bay at Cleveland, not interested. Green Bay should roll them. Colts at the Titans. Colts should win that one. Cincinnati at Minnesota. We've got the backup quarterback bowl, and arguably the two best receivers in football. So everyone's saying, well, we're going to see who's the true wide receiver one, because both of them have backup quarterbacks and both of them stink. Jake Browning didn't stink. Jake Browning likes to throw the ball to the other team, yes. But, and we've kind of talked, a little bit about Carson Wentz in Minnesota. But you have to remember that Jake Browning was there last year. And Jake Browning has got many snaps in this Cincinnati offense. Has a little bit more repertoire built up with those weapons. So if you're forcing me to take, either Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson for this game, give me Jamar Chase, just because of that familiarity with the quarterback, because they've done it. They've done it so far. Rams at Eagles. That's a great game. Rams at Eagles. Eagles favored by 1.5, so almost a pick 'em here, ladies and gentlemen. Nope, 3.5. Sorry, I was looking at the Pittsburgh New England line. Pittsburgh New England, not interested. Like I said, Rams at Eagles. Give me all that. Jets at Tampa. Not interested. Except for the fact that Baker's probably... Oh, where's that? Where's that tweet at? Here it is. Speaking of Baker, I grabbed something that might tickle your fancy a little bit. Might tickle your fancy. This is from NFL on CBS. Is Baker Mayfield elite? Has Baker Mayfield reached elite status? This is regular season stats since 2023. It's him, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson. He leads all of them in passing yards and passing touchdowns. Whereas Mahomes doesn't lead in any category. Josh Allen doesn't lead in any category. And Joe Burrow leads in completion percentage, and Lamar Jackson leads in quarterback rating and record. Mahomes 25-9, whereas Lamar is 26-9. And poor Joe Burrow on this graphic is 16-13. But yeah, almost 9,000 yards since 2023. And the next closest one is looks like Mahomes with 8,500. It's almost 500 more yards by Baker Mayfield. And I believe this was the SV pod. They were talking about how Baker Mayfield's career was like, the startup, the stud in college, gets, drafted in the first round, goes to the Browns, wins a playoff game. Next thing you know, Browns are done with him. And it's like, all right, the stud has the rise and then just crashes. And then we kind of lay low for a little bit. And then we find another spot. And that other spot it doesn't have all the glitz and glamour. And we've tried over here and didn't have success. We tried over here and didn't have success. And we finally found the spot where, bam, we're back. And now you get to see the real Baker Mayfield. And I totally forgot this too. I saw a picture of him taking snaps as a defensive end on the scout team. Because remember, he went from Cleveland to Carolina, I believe. Two organizations that are stupid. Because if you think about it, Cleveland got rid of Baker ultimately for Deshaun Watson. And we've seen how that's gone. So just Cleveland Browns doing Cleveland Brown things. And then after a little bit in Carolina, he gets shipped over to LA, where he gets there on like a Tuesday, starts the Thursday night game and wins the game. Then after that, signs with Tampa after Tom leaves, and it's just been like harmonious. So let me put that graphic up there one more time. Shout out NFL on CBS. This is actually pretty awesome. And now one stat that they didn't put up here, which Lamar would just be obscene, is rushing yards. But I think it's time we give Baker his due. And it took this graphic to be like, holy shit, he really does have that many passing yards since 2023. That's crazy. So yeah, I think we need to give Baker his due. I really do. And believe me, I was not the biggest Baker fan coming out of college. I thought he was cocky. I thought he was just everything that, just an ass. And whether he's an ass or not, dude can ball. And it seems like not only has his career transformed, but his persona and personality has transformed. And thank you for not doing any more commercials out of your quote-unquote home, which is a stadium. That was absolutely ridiculous. We got Vegas at Washington. Now, I have not seen it. I saw a thing that Jaden Daniels was not practicing yet. So yet another quarterback on the mend. Atlanta at Carolina. Atlanta should handle them quite easily. Houston at Jacksonville. This is an interesting one. Jacksonville's favored by 1.5. And with this Houston team, they have everything it takes to be a fantastic team, except, gonna say it again, feel like a broken record, which I'm sure a lot of Texans fans are used to by now, is they need an offensive line. They need an offensive line, or have this offensive line that they supposedly revamped in the offseason and through the draft play better, because you cannot have CJ Stroud needs time to throw the ball, hands down. This offense has the potential to be explosive, but they can't be explosive when Stroud's on the ground. It just can't happen. You have Nico Collins, who's a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. We've got a resurgent Nick Chubb, great tight end. Tank Dell, when he comes back, can take the top off the defense. So this team has weapons. This team has a very good defense, but let's protect CJ Stroud a little bit. Let's protect him a little bit. And again, this is a Jacksonville team that new head coach, kind of a prove it year for Trevor Lawrence. So I'm curious to see how that Jacksonville team progresses, as well as this Houston team, because this Houston team, if they fall to 0-3, is in for a world of hurt. World of hurt. We thought that AFC South was going to be very winnable for them, and they should just walk away with the whole division. And we're seeing the Colts just take it by the horns, literally and figuratively. So Houston cannot afford to fall to 0-3. Just can't happen. Denver at Los Angeles. We talked about that one. Give me the Chargers. New Orleans at Seattle. Seattle should just take care of them quite easily. They're a 7.5 point favorite. Now here's one. Dallas at Chicago. Cowboys at Bears. Dallas is only giving 1.5 points. Only giving 1.5. This Dallas offense is far superior. This Dallas defense should be able to keep this reeling Chicago offense in check. So 1.5 doesn't seem like a whole lot of points. So if you're looking for that, I would give me Dallas, and I will gladly give the points. And let's go into, we talked about Cardinals at 49ers. 49ers favored by 2.5. That's going to be a great game. That's one of the 425 games. It's going to be a great game. And again, can Shanahan keep this boat afloat while Brock Purdy's on the mend? We shall see. In the Sunday night game, Kansas City at the Giants. And if Kansas City doesn't get it done here, 2K Crew, I think we can officially throw the towel in on the Chiefs. We talked about the Texans cannot afford to go 0-3. The Chiefs cannot go 0-3 here. Cannot go 0-3. I believe I saw a stat during the Pat McAfee show today that only one team in NFL history has made the playoffs starting 0-3. So this is something that they have to get it right. And if you're looking for a get-right game in the NFL, the Giants will provide that. So this is a must-win. Must-win for Kansas City. And with my Onions pick, we talked about the Lions at the Ravens. This is going to be fun. Monday Night Football. This is going to be fun. Both offenses are buzzing. Both defenses are pretty buzzing too. Baltimore's defense kind of took it on the shins after playing the Bills, but I have a feeling the Bills are going to do that to a lot of teams. It's not saying that Baltimore's defense is garbage, but that they're gonna put belt to ass to most defenses they play. And I think that's more of a testament as to how good Buffalo is as compared to how bad Baltimore is. So not really worried there. This is gonna be an exciting one. And like I said, give me that Lions money line. Give me that Lions money line. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Well, 2K Crew, I think that's about all I had on deck here. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Well, looks like we covered it all. Well, folks that are watching live, thank you for sharing your Thursday night with me. It's been awesome. And like I said, these Thursday nights will continue. We moved the Sunday show to Thursday. And for those of you that are going to be looking for, I think I haven't decided if I want to put the audio out on Friday or continue the Tuesdays. I would think I'm going to try Fridays to see how that gets received. And if it doesn't get received well, we'll just kick it to Tuesday like we always have. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a great week. Enjoy your football. Hope your fantasy teams win. I know mine isn't. But yeah, everyone have a great week. And as always, Jim Rome, we're coming for you.